we don't make a deal with Canada, that's just fine. But we'll see how it all works out. I say affectionately, we'll just have to tariff those cars coming in. That's a lot of money coming into the coffers of the United States.
And affectionately here to react, Rona Ambrose, former leader of the Conservative Party of Canada and a current member of the Canadian government's NAFTA Advisory Council. There is so much we have to go through at the moment, but I want to just recap with the Toronto Star article coming out, pretty much publicizing leaked comments from a Bloomberg interview with the president. I want to read a tweet before I get your thoughts on it from one of those Toronto Star reporters. He's saying, what happened is I obtained these quotes. I'm not bound by Bloomberg's off-the-record promises. I asked the White House and the Trudeau team for comment. The Trudeau team, which is certain the quotes are accurate, sprung them on Trump's team at the meeting this morning. We do know afterwards that the president of the United States did essentially verify these tweets, saying that now he's happy Canada knows how he feels. You are a part of this team. You are in Canada. How do you feel, and how do you think Canadians are reacting to this? And is this what pretty much turned things around today with the negotiations?
No, I don't think so. Look, we have experienced a lot of tension over the last couple of days. Everyone was hopeful that we would come to an agreement by the end of Friday today, and we didn't. But that is not unusual in trade negotiations. There's a lot at stake. And look, your president, President Trump, is a tough negotiator, but I do think he wants to get to a deal. Canada wants to get to a deal. We do have more work to do, and I'm glad to hear we're going back. I'm also really glad to hear that Canada's part of the letter of intent going to Congress. I do think all three countries want to come to an agreement, but there are some tough things to still hammer out.
What about the no compromising? How is that beneficial to Canadians in negotiations if the president of the United States himself have said, I'm not going to compromise, take it or leave it?
You know what? It's not unusual to hear that kind of language in tough trade negotiations. I think what's unusual about it, and we've all become more accustomed to it with President Trump at the helm, is that it's in the form of a tweet, and it's much more public. I mean, in the past, trade negotiations have always been done behind closed doors, and we didn't see this kind of activity in the public. But I think we now know, whether it's from South Korea or the president negotiating on his tax reforms, whether it's with negotiations with Mexico or the European Union, this is the way President Trump negotiates. So I don't think Canadians are overly surprised that he will tweet, and he'll probably continue to put a lot of pressure on Canada leading up to Wednesday and even past Wednesday. But look, at the end of the day, Canadians want to get to a deal. I think President Trump wants to get to a deal. I think he's coming off a very positive deal with Mexico, particularly around the auto provisions, which are also good for Canada, by the way.
Wait, but let me interrupt, because you just had the president say that he will just follow through with those tariffs on Canadian cars. How is that for the market?
It's terrible for the market. It's terrible. And look, that is the big dark cloud looming over these negotiations. We want to get to a deal. There's no doubt about it. And if for some reason we can't get to a deal, I do worry that President Trump would impose auto tariffs on Canadian cars going into the United States. And let me be clear, that would devastate the Canadian economy. So there is a lot at stake for Canada. We're talking 100,000 jobs could be lost. This would literally devastate one of our province's economies and have a ripple effect throughout the entire economy. And you've seen what happened to the Canadian dollar as soon as it looks like NAFTA talks might be failing. But I do feel confident that President Trump wants to see those auto provisions succeed. Canada wants to see those auto provisions succeed. This is important for whether it's the labor unions or workers, both in Canada and the United States. I know we've got some tough stuff to hammer out in the next couple of days or week, but I do believe that we all want to get to a deal, and we'll get there eventually. But there has to be compromise on every side.